We finally got another trailer. It took them long enough. And they only dropped this because someone leaked Natara earlier in this day. Oh my god. The marketing for this game's been terrible, right? I thought they were doing another MK11, where they announced the game just like 3-4 months before its actual release. So you have a short window of time, but it's enough to feed all the content, all the information you need to keep it going like on a weekly basis. So there's always something new, there's always something to be excited for, and it means the wait for release isn't too long. It was done very well, and I thought I'd do the same thing here. I started off alright here, like trailers left, right, and centre. Then this stopped, and there's only been 3 Kombat casts. And the game releases next week. Doesn't feel like it. Does not feel like it. This is probably going to be a twice in a decade situation now where we get an MK game releasing. I feel nothing for it. I just want to get this over with. Get this over with so we can learn all the bullshit, find out what they fucked up, hopefully find some good stuff. You know, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for good stuff. Right? I'm not looking at these games actively searching for the negatives. I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat, right? And I want to see these characters that I really appreciate, characters I really like. I want to see them done faithfully, but this game is dedicated to not doing that, which is a shame. And Natara is no exception. The trailer is actually called Megan Fox Becomes Natara. If your trailer for a character is starting off with the name of an actress, then something's already gone wrong. I know Sonya's reveal did this the same way with Ronda Rousey, and that sucked. This does too. And yeah, we knew this would happen. Natara just kind of knocks him out. Finally shut him up for using his practical magic to fucking fly. We don't know if Smoker's actual powers or not. It's so unclear now. It's so dumb. Megan Fox is Natara. The rumors are true. And by the way, those rumors, what I think at least, I don't know where they come from. I didn't look into it because I was like, no, that's ridiculous. That's silly. But no, they're very much true. And alongside those leaks was that Travis Scott's in the game, apparently, somehow. Which, if that's real, then that's fucking dreadful. That is dreadful. Fuck Travis Scott. He can do one. I don't know. I don't care. I just know she's the vampire from the Jennifer's Body film. And she's the woman from the live action Transformer movies that like every teenage boy jerked off to. That's literally it. What else has she done? Tell me. Tell me one thing. The only reason she has this role is because she played a vampire before. Like once. That's it. That's it to my knowledge. And that's absurd. That's such an oddly specific thing to go, oh yeah, I'll get it for that. It's dumb. Also, why are you wearing that stupid fucking hat indoors too? She comes from this weird realm. What a great question. This is why you don't leave it to actors or whatever to explain this stuff, because they're not meant to be doing it. I feel bad for her. She comes from this weird realm. Probably forgotten the name, Eternus. This seemingly confirmation of Eternus is still a realm, which I'm very surprised by, because not even the Denny is a realm. It's just a part of Outworld. Same for Zotera, it seems, or Zotera's probably not even around. It's just kind of like a Saurian community. But Eternus is still here, it seems. Unless Weird Realm means Outworld, which would be fucking hilarious. Calls herself open for some reason. Has some blood magic. Now, I don't think, looking at the gameplay, I don't think she does much with it. So I'm okay with it. You know, I get that blood magic fits. But also, that's one misconception of Natara, is that she has blood magic. She does not. And giving her it will just make her blend in with Scarlet more. Looking at the gameplay, she's not focused on it. She's focused on her wings and her bite attacks, which Of course, suits Tara much better. So I don't really mind it because it still fits regardless. Um, but yeah, it's not really something I care too much about. Especially because the whole logic with vampires is, oh, they suck people's blood. If she has blood magic, why would she need to do that? It, I don't know. Probably overthinking it, but I don't really care for this either way. I just think it's an unnecessary thing to establish. Not that it's necessarily bad looking at how they've done it.
So good. She's trying to save her people. But I really.
And yet, she said she is evil but also good. That's called being neutral, mate. That's called neutral. I hope that's the case, but using the term evil is questionable. She's going to be on the villain side, clearly. A lot of characters on the hero side, even like characters like Rain, for example, are on, I guess, the good side of Outworld, you know? So you're quite limited on characters on the actual villain roles entirely, which, because that's doing the chapters and stuff, they're just going to do a bunch of filler fights for the first few chapters. Come last chapter, filler fights. Most of the fights we've seen set up are just filler fights, misunderstandings or whatever. I mean, Reptile's trigger. he literally tells Katana, "You misread my intentions." So yeah, this will have a lot of filler fights, a lot. But I mean, I'll take that to get the characters not portrayed as just plain evil, just generically evil, because most Simki characters are much more complex than that, and they unfortunately have been represented as such. Unless you're like a big bad, or like a handful of characters like a Reiko, or I can't think. I don't know, but like there's very few characters that say like pure evil, and any that kind of come across that way I feel are just underdeveloped. Hopefully this means that Natara's not just that, she's still got that neutral role, perhaps taking some evil role for helping her people, as she says, she's going to try and help her people. I don't know if that's, I mean, I assume they turn still around, so I don't know what's going on. We don't have a bio, so unfortunately not much to go off of. But yeah, I went up high hope she's very clearly going to be on the villain side.
Like her, she's a vampire, which obviously resonates for whatever reason.
Which obviously, wow. How fucking self-centered does this bitch need to be to go, obviously, because I played the vampire in Jennifer's body. Yeah, we all know that. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Fuck off. I cannot stand this woman. I'm sorry, she might be nice. I don't know. I don't care. Just incredibly obnoxious in this trailer, and banging the Ronda one was no difference. This is just Ronda Rousey vibes again, and I get she's an actress. Unlike Ronda, she's not a very good one from what I've seen, what I've heard. Yeah. She is just feasting on gas right now, and I'm sure we'd all want to do that.
I'm not really just voicing it. It'll be like she's kind of me.
I don't even know what the fuck she's on about there. I assume the face model's her. I can't tell. I don't care. All I can tell is that the face model is not Asian, which is wrong. Like, and it's a massive shame because this game has had such an emphasis on the Asian culture and the characters, properly representing characters as Asian for the first time. Raiden, Sindel, characters who haven't looked Asian ever really, and finally getting that. Long overdue. And then Natara here is just whitewashed because Megan Fox plays her. Real bad. And if you think she's not Asian coded, she literally has Chinese writing tattooed onto her wings. Not in this game, but before she did. I don't think she has in this game.
I'll steal Datusha and kill you with it. You are.
Oh boy, that is a real bad voice. And honestly, I don't really like most of the new voices for characters. A lot of the reprising ones are pretty fine, I feel. But the new ones, I don't think a lot of them fit. I mean, Sihan and Havoc's voice are definitely the worst ones. Again, no disrespect to the actual voice actors. Definitely disrespect to Megan Fox. Because someone needs money, apparently. it, but a lot of it just doesn't fit the characters, or at least it fits their versions of the characters, but their versions are bad, right? Like Havoc having that really like serious, like over the top, edgy, deep voice. That is not Havoc. You know, his Deception voice was fantastic because it was like this calm, collected, chilled out guy. He just mellowed out despite all this chaotic shit he does. It's like a big contrast, and that has a ton of appeal to Havoc that he just kind of lost. Natara here, there's no real, there's really nothing to go off of. I mean, she has a Deception side quest where she's voiced by, I believe, the same woman who voices like every character, every female character in those games, and some of them she does a good job of, and I very much appreciate her work covering basically the entire female cast for a game because they didn't have a lot of women. And I can't remember her name, unfortunately, but yeah, I know she did a good job of Lee May. Astra, definitely. Her Astra is very good. Astra's new voice is fine. That's one of the ones I think is fine. Nothing too great from what I've heard, but it's fine. Lee May's good, actually. I'll take that back. Lee May's good because, I mean, she's voiced by Carrie Hughes, so of course it's good. Garrus has a new voice that's good, and that's just because it sounds just like the 11 voice, so that's fine. Shang Tsung has a good new voice as well, actually. Much better than Carrie. I just have a voice now. I mean, that's why they put the fucking emphasis on Megan Fox becomes Natara. This is just the Megan Fox reveal trailer. Natara's taking a backseat, that's what really pisses me off. The fact that this character who's been gone for nearly 17 years now makes a great return, and her reveal trailer, the focus is on her fucking actress. Just overshadowing her. And I think that's a massive fucking shame. Because I think a character like Natara, one that can very easily disappear for such a long time, if you're going, you need to focus on her. You can't just rely on an actress or whatever. You need to focus on Natara, right? You're gonna make her this big deal because 3-hour returns, right? How many of these are gonna carry over to the next games? I think Lee May's already been very well received, which is fantastic. Hopefully she gets to stick around for a while, but the others, I don't know. I feel this isn't the size bigger for the 3-hour characters. This is just as big as they're going to get for the longest while. Of course, cameos aside, and even Emma cameos, there's 2 of them, Darius and Shujinko, which are pretty base. Darius is a very out there pick, and I do respect it. Of course, someone never likes Darius. I know the Midway team was really happy with Darius. His when he debuted, everyone was really positive on Darius. So it shows people just turn on characters for dumb reasons or a lack of reasons. In the case of people aren't familiar with 3D games. And yeah, Natara's just another case of you have this 3-hour return, cool. On paper, that's great. But it's long overdue because these are the very popular ones. These aren't out there picks because these are just the characters that everyone's been clamoring for, and they just never return because they neglected the entire era. So, like, I cannot praise NRS for only partially solving the problem they created. And again, I don't know if it's going to last. And when most of these returns are very unfaithful, of course they do this now in a time that's rebooting everyone and retconning all their lore and stuff. Again, we don't really know Natara's lore here. Seems like Returners here, so probably faithful. But all the surrounding stuff is just going to bog her down. Her story arc's just going to be dreadful regardless. And look at their shoulder pad. It has like the Shao Kahn skull thing, which like all the guys in his armor have. They all have like that same like Reiko armor, which that's kind of grown on me because I really like the Khan Guard as like a militia, an aspect. Although it can't even be called the Khan Guard because Shao doesn't even have that in his name. And I feel like Natara's just a part of that for whatever reason. She seems to have like a good goal at least still, so more than I expected. But again, that's just going off what Megan Fox said. She could be completely wrong because it's Megan Fox. So we can only hope, really. We need to see more. So that's why I'm critiquing like voice. I could look past it, but yeah, I don't think it's very good. It is such a stereotypical American white woman voice, and there's like a bit of like a stereotypical like vampire-esque sound to it. It just does not stand out to me. It does not sound great. I don't know what I imagine Atara's voice being like, but this just ain't it. You know. As for he is probably the most faithfully brought back 3D era character, and look what they did to her face. Outside of that, she's pretty faithful. And special moves. She lost all her special moves because they made her entire moveset Chris based. The only weapon to return 9 is Scorpion Spears in this game. Outside of cameos, that is, and even some cameos don't even have that stuff, like Darius and House Gauntlets. It's weird. It's weird. It's a shame. But yeah, and well, yeah, no, she has this weird headpiece on. And I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I don't like the weird metal bits on the side. It is just another Tanya and Sindel case for this game where they've just slapped on some weird metal plating thing. And it looks dumb. This is probably the best looking of that, but it's somewhat great. It might be a gear piece that you edit, and because most characters don't have weapons in this game, and MKLM, most characters did have weapons. They were finally pushing for weapons to return. Brayden got his staff back finally. A few 3D returns like the Quan Dao and the nunchucks for Liu Kang, and they're all gone again. So that means it's going to be harder to pick your weapons, you know, because no weapons, so picking your gear can be trickier. She doesn't have a camera, which I like her, but considering how many weapons were gone, it didn't surprise me. And I feel she could stand up without it, but it is a shame. This thing's a terrible, and if it was a different colour, maybe it wouldn't be as bad, but it's the same colour as her hair, which I don't even dislike the hair. I don't mind her being a redhead. I don't care. The face model looks terrible. I don't know if that is Megan Fox or not. I don't care. But that is a white woman. That is not Natara. I'm glad she doesn't have a headband thing because, not even because I dislike that look for it, but because it kind of drooped over her eye and then everyone went, oh my god, she's a pirate. She's not a fucking pirate, you idiots. So, yeah. She's like one of the only characters I feel actually need a redesign. So I was quite interested in seeing what she got. And I'm very mixed on this desirable. Overall, it's probably an improvement to Dayline's. By default, I think the aesthetics of the original design are probably better. They're a lot more unique. The problem was, it was just kind of bogged down by over-sexualizing her. You know, a cool jacket with these cool sleeves, but it's really, really small. And then like, a bunch of belts and stuff. And like this cool cloak thing, but there's kind of nothing else there. If they had just kind of modernized that, it'd probably be better. Again, we're kind of hoping for some good alts, because I trust them with alts more than I do with the default designs. So I'm hoping there's some good stuff, especially with gear still being around. Also, her nails. That might be something you customize, because there's like some wrist tape on this one. I think she grows them out as well, which I don't really like now if that's the case. I don't mind having like claw-like nails, but if she grows them out, then like, ooh, no.
Welcome to Try.
Why is this rivalry returning of all things? I love both of these characters, but I couldn't give a toss about that Armageddon rivalry. The only benefit of it was that it was like Armageddon fully established Atara as a hero fighting to protect the realm. No shady neutral stuff. They're trying to stop a corrupted Ashra. And that's where it fell apart, because it just made Ashra corrupted. Here I guess Atara's the evil one. That's done. Quan Chi is in the background. I'm not even going to bother to zoom in on it, but Quan Chi, who is not pasty, is in the background doing some sorcery. I assume it's Kwanzaa. Fucking weird. Weird. It's going to get us some memes, though. It's going to get us some memes. But yeah, the tan Quan Chi goes crazy. And what is this? What is she doing with her headphones? I don't get it. This is where the voice is really bad. It's so bad.
Outworlders believe yourselves so superior. As I've been doing.
That is cringe-worthy bad. That is Ronda levels of cringe. That is awful. And again, remember, Ronda's portrayal of Sonya basically killed the fucking character. Everyone hated MK11 Sonya, myself included, outside of gameplay. I think that was her best moveset. But it killed her character, and a lot of it, I mean, of course, writing's part of it, but the Ronda voice really didn't help. And this could just break the character. It could just become the Megan Fox character with no identity of her own, and then she misses the next few games again. And Megan Fox costs money, so it'll probably be a one-time thing, right? It's weird.
The sessions, it does force me to like tap into areas.
Scorpion doing some fireball thing, that's cool. The cameo Scorpion's generally pretty awesome because it's Hanzo Scorpion, whereas the base roster Scorpion's really fucking lame. But I like, especially with air combat being a thing and each character has their own air strings, it really lets them do some cool stuff with the wings. So her game looks actually pretty decent. You know, again, I don't know if I'm getting the game because I don't think the gameplay's my style. I'll see when the game comes out and if the invasion mode is actually offline. Maybe it's a game I'll get like second hand, just find it in a few months or years more likely. I don't know. And I just fuck around in like the invasion mode because I kind of like the look of that mode. But if it's like limited time seasons, and no. But yeah, I feel like the cameos and like the crazy card potential is just going to make this game very unbalanced and very annoying to play online. But Natara looks fun here. If I did get the game, I might, you know. I don't know. Actually, I'd probably mainly May, wouldn't I? Yeah, you know. And Shijinko's the cameo. The problem with that, you can't really main Shijinko as a cameo because Shijinko just copies the opponent's moves, so you'd have to main everyone at that point. I digress. But yeah, I don't really have any complaints with gameplay. I know she does blood magic stuff, but it doesn't look too crazy here. Like, does that ring thing? I don't mind it. And yeah, it does some claw attacks. Probably could have just had the camera for those strings, but it works. It all works. In-game, this looks okay, this design. The leg thing looks kind of weird because I think she has like exposed skin. It's just kind of like a metal frame for her leggings, which is weird. But this is much better than Daylight's design. Easily. And I believe there was like some concept art for her in Daylight's that this is kind of like, and I can't remember. I just think if the headpiece can be changed, that'd be great. I like she has some purple. I actually don't mind that. It doesn't really matter regardless because you have the different colour palettes. But as a default choice, having purple is an interesting bit. I don't mind it. I don't. And the wings look good. They don't know the Chinese writing, but it looks solid. And you can tell it's Natara. I'm glad she has her wings out all the time. They didn't just cop out and have it come out for only certain moves. Like, I think it's a good step up. I don't think it's great. The voicing definitely isn't great. But looking at the gameplay, looking at the costume, it looks solid, right? And in that regard, it looks solid. And with the Ice Games when I enjoy them, I just separate the fucking character writing usually from the gameplay and design. So that's why I do MKLM. I enjoy MKLM, right? So if you don't care about the story, then it's probably a good thing. I think people who don't care about the story will like this. But yeah, her story stuff probably going to be lame because she's going to be in that thin role. She's going to be one of the main jobbers, who would have guessed. Not the main one, that's going to be Reiko. The Reiko memes are getting out of hand already. He hasn't even shown up yet. But like, from what we've seen of him, goes to fight Lee May's, obviously Lee May's channel, Lee May's going to win. Background of like the Shao scene where he's picking himself up. So he just got decked probably. And he is the character that in the Brutality preview images, the Brutality is being done on him. So poor guy. I don't know why there's a Reiko reveal. Like he is the last character outside of Shang. I guess they could do them together. They are villains. But it would be odd. It felt like Reiko should have just been in the Shao trailer for obvious reasons. If the 24 characters, maybe it's really for them. But it seems like it's just a DLC placeholder, which is very fucking lame if that's the case. 23 character base roster, that is smaller than Deception. That is really not acceptable. Yeah, the Flesh Pit stage is fucking wild. And I like it, but I think, like, this thing is very overdone. I don't know what's meant to be. It's a Meat 2.0, as I've dubbed him. I don't like horror stuff, and you can have to see this in the background all the time. But it's much better than MK9 Flesh Pits, for sure. You got, like, the bits of flesh and whatnot, like, layering the floors, and you got, like, these cool, like, green, like, low-tech, more, like, Outworld sort of stuff, back to tanks and stuff. It is a drastic improvement, and I assume it'll be attached to Shang Tsung's lab, and the lab's, like, the nice side, and he's got this crazy shit going on behind the scenes. I fuck with that. And again, I'm kind of hopeful for Shang Tsung in this game. I don't care for his new lore and stuff, and I certainly don't care for his weird gauntlet weapon things. It's so weird because they're getting rid of so many weapons, and then they bring in like a handful of really stupid ones unnecessarily. But yeah, I have hopes for like some characterization, if that makes sense, because if we go into this like more Midway-esque song where like genuinely terrifying guy, instead of trying to be like the carry Shang Tsung, which is a good character, but it's not Shang Tsung. You can like just cut out MK11 and just look at everything else. The Shang Tsung in the games is very different to the 95 movie, and much better, I'd say, than the 95 movie. So yeah, again, I digress because there's not much to even fucking talk about in regards to Natara herself. There really ain't, because they didn't show anything. They won't show a fucking bio. I'm not waiting for them to show a bio. Seems like a fatal blow is in the air. And I assume that's not something you can just do for every car where you have an air one and you don't. I think that's very dumb, if that's the case. I feel like Super Mario should just have the same requirements for everyone. If it's like Cassie's where like she'll jump in the air, even if you're on the ground, then it doesn't matter. If not, then yeah, that's dumb. I remember MKX Sony's X-Ray was a parry. That was stupid. I see Cicano,
What did you do with Jen's body?
Jen. Obviously Jen's body reference. But Jen from fucking Conquest, who was like Kung Lao's girlfriend, who dies in like episode 1. That is a crazy double reference. That is fucking mental.
Poor Kung Lao. You will never see her again.
Very generic evil voice. You know, and a very generic evil line. So I think she's just villain. And they're probably playing up to the stereotypical vampire stuff, which doesn't surprise me. You know, that unoriginal. But that voice is terrible for her. It is so bad. My god.
Mortal Kombat. It's just one of those staples.
I'd argue it's worse than Ronda Sonia. I mean, it's too early to tell. But Ronda Sonia, she is an American woman and being portrayed by an American woman. So it fits. It's just a bad portrayal. Like, Ronda fits the character. She just can't act. This is an actress who can kind of act, I guess. But the voice does not fit in the slightest.
Around since gaming has been around.
What a crazy statement. What a crazy sentence. Mortal Kombat's been around as long as gaming's been around. Gaming started in 1992, guys. Is this like the night time for the Giant Temple, I guess? Which looks sick. And then she does a lot of air stuff, and I kind of fuck with that.
We did all grow up playing the game, and it is one of the greatest video games of all time.
Apparently she's an MK fan. I don't care. Like I don't care if you're a 72 who's a fan of MK. You don't get a pass in this franchise. Right? I'm a big MK fan. When am I getting to voice fucking Motaro? When am I getting that, Neverell? Huh? Where's my invitation? And here's a fatality. I'm not even going to skip this one because it is so bad that I don't think I would get monetized for it. Does some weird shit because I love doing that with the intestines. And then the skeleton just comes out for some reason. That is it. That is it. What a terrible fatality. Oh my god. And I probably like it more than the other ones because it's not being over the top violent. Right? I don't like that sort of thing. But they're trying to be over the top super violent. And that just looks stupid. That looks real bad. Her Day Alliance fatality was better. That says a lot. And like, yeah, look at that face. That is clapped. That is fucked up. That was Serena in the background, by the way. That weird glowing thing, that's just Serena. And yeah, there we are. Still not advertising any Kombat League skins. There's just this premiere skin of another celebrity guy. This time for Johnny Cage. Which I don't care for. So, I mean, here, thinking of like, in a pre-edition, I wouldn't. Because I don't think the Kombat pack actually has those perks. I don't think it has like skin packs and stuff. I feel like I would have been told by now. It seems like the cameos for the DLC would have replaced them. Assuming you can get the cameos separately, which I don't know how they work. Them being paid DLC is weird. Especially when there's a cameo Johnny Cage. What an odd thing to lock behind a paywall. What an odd thing to do. They probably shouldn't even be DLC in the first place. It's not like they're going to sell extra unless they are sold separate for like £1 or whatever, something really cheap. So it's really unnecessary. Skin packs would add more appeal, I feel personally. I don't know though. I wouldn't get it though if you don't care for guests. I feel like if you just get the stand one, if you are interested in this game, I'd get the stand one. And then you can buy the MK characters separate when they actually release. And that's like £15. You save like half price. Because I know a lot of people don't care for the guests, but you're going to get it anyway because the Kombat pack has general perks. But I don't think there's many here. I don't know though. I don't know. I hate that they always show off the premium edition as well. They're just like, hey, we have paid DLC already. Go buy it. It's fucking stupid. So I believe a combination of Omni and Man is the first one, which that's lame, just starting off with a guess. It really should be Quan Chi. It should be Kwanzaa. I mean, it should be the MK characters if they're in the story, especially. Again, it seems like, generally leaks, it seems like Quan Chi and Ermac were just meant to be base roster. And if the roster is 23 characters, I would support that. They just decided to take 2 characters lock them behind a paywall. I find that genuinely credible, but we will find out, I'm sure. But that's it. That's it. Dreadful. What else have I say? This is part of the last trailer as well. I don't even know if Reiko is getting the fucking trailer. When the game drops, don't expect me to make content on it because I'm not getting the game. If I do get a game, it'll be much later down the line where I get second-hand copies for a lot cheaper, for 60 quid. But, I mean, we saw a Switch port leak and it seems more like MK11 style. Where, yeah, it works where it matters, right? So I might get it for that. But again, I don't know how I feel in the gameplay. So I don't know. But yeah, don't expect me much MK style content. I'm getting my rest trailers. I might do like a story critique. But yeah, that's not really just because I don't cover gameplay stuff, I don't think. Just yeah, I'm not interested. I'm really not right now. I might be when I see the customization. I see more what the hell invasion mode's doing. Then maybe I'm interested. But they've butchered way too many characters, in my opinion. Again, just an opinion. If you like the stuff, good for fucking you. You can enjoy that stuff. I don't give a fuck, right? Although I know people have been whining past the Lin Kuei trailer where I said they ruined Smoke, and I still stand by that. He is such a downgraded version of his MK9 stuff. I know MK9 butchered most characters, but he's great in MK9, I'd say. But yeah, I digress. Again, I have nothing really else to say about MK9 because they gave us nothing to fucking talk about because they had Megan Fox take up half the fucking trailer. Fucking terrible. Is there anything at the end? Anything at the end? Oh yeah, like I'm right back. Yeah, fuck off.